Yes, we did. We did.
That's another way to think about it.
We did. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills. That actually increases the money supply.
Financial Turmoil Explained.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this October the 26th, 2022, a Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, you know, France, 26 of France's 56 nuclear reactors are offline for pipe corrosion or maintenance. I didn't know France had that many nuclear reactors. That's a lot, 56. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is after Halloween is over, that's when the cold really sets in Europe. The end of this month, next month, cold really sets in. It only gets worse that whole following month of November and into December. Europeans get a very cold winter. I don't know. People out there don't think it's cold in Europe. Yes, it is cold in Europe. Yes, they do get snow. Yes, they do get ice. Yes, they do get bitter winds from the north. I know that for a fact. If you guys remember some of my shows past few years back, you know, I was over in Europe in the wintertime. So I know how cold it is in Europe in the wintertime. It's bitter. Now, it's one thing to talk about not having heat in your house. It's, you know, until it really happens. And then you find out what it's really like. You know? I'm going to tell you guys what. They're going to experience it very soon. In Europe. Cold. Here it comes. And they're not adequately prepared. 7% of the Europeans out there right now can't afford to heat their homes now because the costs went up so much. Extravagantly, the cost has went up to heat your homes. So now, and it might be a lot higher than that, to tell you the truth. Now, to change the subject here, we're going to switch over to silver price today at $19.56. Now, here's what I want to say about this is, if you guys watching my show for a while, you know I've said it about, I've probably on 100 different shows, I've said it. How that when the pivot comes, when the Fed pivots, we're going to see gold and silver take off and cryptocurrencies take off. Right? Well, I haven't heard anything official about a pivot, but I do see signs in the markets right now that the markets are showing signs that the market is anticipating a pivot. What just happened to my silver price? Changed, I guess. It was up 25 cents today at $19.57. The markets, what I'm trying to say, guys, listen, is the markets are anticipating a pivot. This is what I see right now, is anticipation. Could the markets be correct? Well, they would know. An awful lot of times these traders and stuff, they're on top of the button, and they might see evidence for it that I can't find for an imminent pivot. And this is what what is showing me in the market, so is that they're in expectation of a pivot. But I've told you, when we really get the pivot, we're going to see gold and silver and cryptos go up a lot. Equities too. Equities could go back into very likely would go back into a bull market once that money starts to pour out again. I mean, the whole reason why we fell out of a bull market in the first place is because the Fed got tight with the money. It's just as simple as that. And they said that they did it because they were fighting inflation, which I think might have been a bit of a ruse. I think they have other reasons why they did it, but that's up in the air. Okay, gold today. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is $16.68. It's up $15.70 today so far. Now, crypto's caught a fire under it a little bit. Let me see. Is it still going up? Let me refresh the page. $20,882. So we have broke past the $20,000 barrier that we've been having a lot of trouble with over the last number of days. And we're looking at Ethereum. Oh, Ethereum is going up. It was 1,300 and something. Now it's 1,572. Ethereum's went up pretty good. If this is the kind of rallies we're seeing in anticipation of a pivot, can you imagine what the kind of rallies we're going to see after the pivot when the money really starts to pour back into the system again? Okay. Dow Jones Industrial Average. See, it's showing the signs here. The Dow is showing the signs that they're anticipating a pivot. And they might be very well correct. The pivot might be coming very soon. 32,006 on the Dow today. You know, it's up 170. So we're back well up above. Now, I predicted way out in advance of all this. I predicted that the markets would go during the tightness, the period of tightness of the Fed. I predicted that the markets could go down 26,000. Well, if we look here on the chart, let me go to a lesser chart, 1 year. Let's try 1 year here. Our bottoms that we put in right here. Let me see. Let me get down here. See if I can get down here on the bottom. What was it? It was right in here. We did put in bottoms that were below. We did put in bottoms that were below 30,000. Like I think the low was 28,008. Then my prediction was 26, 25, 26. So it didn't make it down as low as I thought we'd make it down to. And now we've bounced way up above 30,000 again on this anticipation, which very well might be correct. So I wasn't that far off. Now, you got to understand, when I started making the predictions that the market would drop down to 25, 26,000, we were in a bull market when I was making those predictions. And the market was up like 35, 36,000. It was up, way up. It was up near record highs and going higher. And everybody said, oh, buy into the market because the market's going to go to the moon. We're in a perpetual bull market forever. It's never going to end. And I was here, lone voice saying, oh, no. We're going to go down to 25, 26,000. Well, we did make it down under 30,000. The market shed about 7,000 points or more. 8,000 points. Right? Now I'm making another prediction. Right now. That this market hasn't seen its highs yet. It's going to be going up on money. This market operates off of free, cheap, easy money, and they just can't stop. It's going to be coming forever, the free, cheap, easy money, and your dollar's going to be worth less and less and less and less. And the people that get out in front of this ahead of time and realize it ahead of time are going to do better than the people who wait. And the people who say, oh, I'm going to stick with the dollar, until the bitter end, and those people are going to get hurt the most. Because this is the way the entire system is geared, guys. It's geared this way. And because it's geared this way, you can't expect it to work in a different way from the way it's geared to work. It's been doing this since the early, like 100 years ago it was doing this. The dollar's over that like 100-year period, the dollar's lost like over 98% of its purchasing power. Very, very, very incrementally, very, very, very slowly. Why do you think that that's going to stop and somehow reverse itself? Something that's been going on for 100 years. You'd have to have something big to change that. To make it reverse itself, to make it stop, to make it go in the opposite direction, to make it different, to make a change, a sea change like that, you'd have to have something happen. Now, the monkeying around, the people think, okay, some people out there think, okay, what the Fed was doing lately by being tight, is that something to make it happen? But it's not. Because all they're going to do is just pinch the economy off, and then they'll have to release it. They can't continue. It's non-sustainable what they're doing. Maybe if it was sustainable, maybe if they stayed the course and they didn't cheat, the economy would get totally crushed. We would go into a greater depression than what happened in 1929. And everything would just basically flatten if they stayed with that. Of course, there's no political will to stay with that. I mean, nobody's going to take responsibility for utterly destroying the economy and bringing it to its knees. They have the power to do that, but they ain't going to do that. It's just, so it's just going to continue on the way it's continued on with the destruction of the dollar. And it's speeding up, in fact. That's why we've got over 8% inflation. And it's going to get worse. This cannot stop. This is a process that's in motion now. It's going to stay in motion. Don't stay with your dollars. Get out of your dollars, and the only way to get out of dollars is, the best way is silver. If you haven't got a lot of money. If you got a lot of money, if you're big, fancy, smancy, gold. Because you can put $1 million of gold in a briefcase and carry it down the street with you. It's kind of heavy. I think it's like 60 pounds or something like that, But you can't do that with silver. $1 million worth of silver, you ain't going to be carrying it in a briefcase. You're going to need a dump truck. Anyway, listen, guys. Got to get looking at these markets more. I'm getting bogged down. Okay, crude oil, 86.65. It's up $1.33 on the day so far. Move index today, 147. So the move index is backed off just a little bit. Let's take a look at bonds and rates. Bonds and rates have been backing off a little bit, too. We're looking at a 10-year at 4.04 and the U.S. 30-year at 4.18. And they're both down about 7 or 8 basis points. So we got falling yields. I think while I was sleeping, I think that there's been a change in these markets. And they see something I don't see. Even though the Fed is claiming they're going to raise interest rates again. And so I would be cautious right now. As long as the Fed is raising interest rates by 75 basis points, and as long as they're still doing quantitative tightening, I would be cautious. I wouldn't jump in to the pool until they've quit with the quantitative tightening and they've quit raising interest rates. And they say that that's what they're doing. They're stopping that stuff. But the markets are jumping into the pool right now. It might be a little bit premature just yet. But maybe they have information I don't have. It's definitely an anticipating. They're anticipating something coming. Maybe they got inside scoop. Information that's not available to me. Anyway, let's take a look at the U.S. dollar index now at 110.21. All indicators, though, all the way across the board and everything I've been through, including this dollar index, which topped out around 114 or a little bit higher, and now it's back down to 110. All these are indicators that there's possibly a pivot coming. But I think maybe they're right. But like I say, I wouldn't jump in there just yet, until we see the pivot. But this is a good time for accumulation of gold, silver, and cryptos. If you're not an ultra rich person, this is a insurance against losing everything you got. let me just explain. I'll just take a second to explain before I end the show. You could have a quite diversified portfolio. Okay, and on paper, you could be worth quite a darn big sum of money. But what do you have that's not just a folder full of paper in your portfolio? Because all of those things in your portfolio are all dollar-denominated assets. And they all have counterparty risk. Whether it be your broker or your they're all connected, like to a bank or to the markets. And you got to understand the amount of leverage that's in this system right now. If we get some sort of a problem go through the system and the system freezes up, then it's just like your credit cards that's in your wallet and your debit card that's in your wallet. You might have that money in the bank and you can go into any store and buy anything you want with that debit card. But if the banking system freezes, then you can't go in and you can't access that money that's in your bank account. You can't use that debit card. Well, it's the same way with your portfolio. All those papers that are in there that absolutely can, if the markets and everything collapses in the financial system, you can't use any of that. It's suddenly it's unusable. All of it. It's confetti. At a certain point, it might even become confetti if the financial system completely cracks up, because it's all over leveraged. But now, if you got a silver coin in your hand that's real and exists in the real world, there it is. You can look at it. Say the system deleverages like that, and say all your portfolio, you can't access the money to it, just like you can't access your bank account. But that coin in your hand, there it is down there. That coin in your hand, that's real money. No counterparty risk. And it might be the only thing that you have at that point. If you can't access all the stuff, all the liquidity that you have that's on paper, if you can't access that coin in your hand might be the only thing that you have, other than the clothes on your back. And I mean, most people never consider that, but that's the beauty of something that doesn't have counterparty risk. Gold, silver, and cryptos are the only things out there that don't have any counterparty risk. Crypto does have counterparty risk if it's left on an exchange. You got to have the private keys for it not to have counterparty risk. So gold, silver, and cryptos are the only things out there. And gold and silver, you have to have the physical in your possession for it not to have counterparty risk. If you've got your gold stored with with some sort of a storage company or something, those are all connected to the banks. Or if you've got it in a safety deposit box, that's counterparty risk again. Because you could go in, the bank's locked. Your gold's in the safety deposit box, and the bank ain't never going to open it again. Good luck getting that back, because they're going to secure all those assets. Storage companies and everything, they're connected to the banks that store things like precious metals. If the bank goes under that owns that storage company, they're just going to bring in a Brinks truck and haul it all away. Good luck getting yours back. I know they give you all these guarantees and stuff, but as soon as you let somebody else handle it for you, there's your counterparty risk again. Anyway, so we're living in a world right now where if it's not locked down and secured and in your possession, then good luck. It's the kind of world we're living in. They're going to strip everything away from the middle class people. That's just the plan, to make you destitute and to have you sitting on the curb there, not knowing what to do, not knowing where you're going to sleep, kicked out of your house. This is their plan. Didn't you hear them saying you'll have nothing and be happy or whatever? Have nothing, just like the people over in Europe. They were told, like this summer, they said to them, we're going to be out of fuel this winter. Well, this summer and this fall, while it's still warm out, it's not a big deal. But when that cold starts to hit them and their teeth start to chatter in another month from now, then it's going to be a big deal. It's like the old saying, you never miss the water until the well runs dry. Okay, guys, thank you for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification icon. Thank you very much. And we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.